Hello, everyone. It's Natasha. Look, I made this nitty gritty podcast because, as a mom and a wife, I feel like there are some things that go on that nobody is talking about. Either they're talking about it to themselves or in some private group, but I'm a stay at home mom and I need to tell somebody about the things that I experience. Now, I plan on getting on here every day, every evening after I put them kids to bed. So, y'all be ready to laugh, be ready to relate because there's some things that we're going to talk about. Okay, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to finally getting some of these things off my shoulders because my oldest is 8, and everybody knows that firstborn child. They're the ones that help you realize either you were ready or you weren't ready, or whether you have the ability to make it up as you go. That first child, they get everything. They get everything that you were taught, everything that daddy was taught, and they get it all in one truckload. And it's not until they're a little bit older and you go, maybe that's not the best way to go about that. And then we're in this, I call it the gentle parenting era. Not making fun of it or anything like that, but learning and watching people like implement that actually in their household let me know my reactions to things are a little rough. Like some cartoons that I was even watching where they gentle parented had me initially like, there's no way I would have responded that way. But then it made me think, well, dang, why wouldn't I respond that way? Why is my first reaction to blow up? And then I answer myself saying, well, because they know better, because I raised them, because I told them, because when I said, when I have a kid, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this, and I'm going to be able to do all the things that my parents didn't do, and I'm going to be able to do all the things that they said would be impossible, or that they said was too hard, or that they couldn't do for me, or wouldn't do for me, all of those things, right? And then you have that firstborn and you're like, yeah, I'm going to stick to it. And then you realize, well, the same way that you have a personality, so will this little human of yours have a personality. And boy, oh boy, are they good at combining everything that they see and everything that they hear. And then half the time you're like, where did you learn that from? Why are you talking like that? Who are you rolling your eyes at? Who are you raising your voice at? And then one day in a playful moment they go, Mom, Dad, you know I get that from you guys. Oh, you guys taught me that. You guys showed me that. Well, that's what you do. Ha 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 ha. Now, we understand that it's a joke and we're just playing, but at the same time, there's some seriousness to it. Like, oh, yeah, I guess you do kind of take after me, huh? Hmm. I don't know if I like that too much. And we often find ourselves looking at them sometimes. We're just gazing at them like, wow, this is a beautiful child. Wow, this is a blessing. Wow, I'm so proud of them. And in the same breath, we'd be like, but I know darn well if they come in here with that foolishness again, I know darn well this, and the very things that we point out that I will say it. I will say it, that get on our nerves. Somebody told me that's not right to say your kid's getting your this kid is a whole human with tendencies and habits. There are things that they may do that gets on my nerves. I don't like it. And I am not ashamed to say sometimes lovely, lovely, blessed children can ride those nerves. You hear me? They will go find the last nerve on this earth, probably in the Sahara Desert somewhere where there's no resources to even nourish this nerve. They will dig that sucker up and do the rain dance on it. Do you hear me? They will do what they got to do with that nerve. And you can't turn around and be like, you're getting on my nerve. No, 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 that is not. That is, because then they're going to accept that kind of response out there in the world. Someone responding that way to them. Now, that's not saying people can't hold them accountable. It's just saying I don't want to plant seeds of acceptance when I know how detrimental that can be. Because at one point I was accepting everything and I didn't even realize it. So, with that firstborn, when I tell you, that trial and error, okay, I know people are like, well, they're not a game, they're not, no, they're not, but there are some things that I said that I would make sure that I do, that I would make sure that I had, and all of this, and give to the kid. And no, no, heck no. Mm-mm. Why was I even tempted to give her that? Why did I say that? Why did I say I was gonna give her everything she want and then was acting on it? What is wrong? What is wrong with me? Oh no, oh no, oh no. That started to look like a bad idea around two. And then around three, I was like, why are you asking for this? But they're like, oh, well, they're just little, you just want to give them things, okay, okay, okay. And then we be wondering why when they become a pre-teen or a teenager that they're like, "Ooh, look at this and look at that," or "Ooh, can I have this?" or "Can you take me there?" Can you? We raised them like that, and then we got the nerve to have an attitude. That's just like a a husband who spoils his wife to just no end. And then when she is ready for her usual treatment, he goes, "Why are you acting? Why you wanting all this? Why you asking for it?" And it's like, sir, you got to keep that same energy." And that's how our kids are, man. Our kids don't let us forget nothing. They don't let us forget nothing. If you on the way home promise that child something, unless you were really committed to it, I advise you don't even do it. Just keep your mouth closed. Just let them sulk back there. Just let them pout. Don't sign up for that. Don't sign that verbal contract because I'm telling you that parrot of a contract holder is gonna follow you around and be like, "Hey, mommy, are we still gonna do that thing you said we were gonna do? Hey, daddy, don't forget you said this is what you were gonna do. Hey, daddy. Hey, mommy. Oh, it's getting late in the day." You see, kids got smart. Instead of them constantly bugging you about the thing that you said you were gonna do, which first of all, you should do. You said you were gonna do it, so you should do it. Unless, for obvious safety reasons, weather reasons, whatever, that kind of thing. But they got smart. Instead of them coming directly, they would, like my daughter would exclaim something that she sees, like the sun is going down. "Oh, mommy, it'll be getting kind of dark soon. Don't you think we should go out and play like we were planning to?" Like, nah, kid, I wasn't planning to actually. I was kind of waiting for that sun to go down, but you can't, you can't say those kind of things. It's just, it's just that moment in parenting where you be like, oh my gosh, why did I say that? Why would I do that? And so it brings me to really understand that our kids, one, they're already a sponge, right? They're soaking in everything. They're soaking in their friends, they're soaking in their school environment, they're soaking in their home environment, when they go play outside, everything. When they go to the store, everything. And they become a mirror mostly of you. That firstborn child, if they spend the adequate time, which they usually do because they be wanting to be up under your skin, they start to mirror you. I mean, there's so many things where I almost got upset with my daughter, and then I realized, oh my gosh, I did that yesterday. Like, and the difference is some parents feel entitled, and now hear me, they feel entitled to fuss at their kids about doing something that they do. And the favorite saying when I grew up was, well, do as I say and not as I do. Hello? Uh, that that don't work. That don't work. That don't work. I'm sure there's some kind of scientific experiment out there where they tested somebody's brain and was like, do this, even though I'm doing this, or don't do this. You see, I can't see. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay. So if you want that kid to change something, how about you change it first? Alakazam. You're like, well, don't be storytelling. Don't be lying. Well, maybe you need to stop lying. Huh? Maybe you need to stop telling those white lies. Maybe you need to stop joking about lying. Okay. Maybe you need to stop gossiping. Maybe you need to stay out of other people's business. Ooh wee. Now, mind you, I was a curious kid growing up, and my all of my kids, I say y'all are so nosy. Oh my gosh, you guys are so nosy. And I remember being called that all the time when I was little, but I was like, no, I was just actually curious. I love information. I love learning, but it was seen as nosy. One, because I wasn't taught, okay, when is the time to pry for information, or when is the time to like pull back on that, and go a different route. I wasn't taught that. It was just automatically you nosy. So I just kind of smothered my want for more information, for learning more. I just kind of was like, okay, if I ask too much, if I ask for too much, if I try to learn too much of something, somebody's going to have a problem with it. So I might as well just kind of set my own cap, set my own ceiling. And I noticed that my kids at a certain point, they'll be like, oh, okay. And I would go to them like, hey, don't you want to learn a little more? And they're like, well, I don't want to bug you. Like, dang. I mean, do you feel like you might bug me? No, 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 no. See, it's those generational things, those cultural generational things. A lot of people call them generational curses. There's generational habits and generational thought patterns, and I was like, nah, man, we can't continue that. We can't continue that. No, I don't think I had explained that quite right uh to her once I said it, because I think she took that as a free invitation to really get up in my space. I mean, all up in there, all up in there. And I thought about, wow, I didn't think that through. I didn't think that through at all. I just opened up the gates of I don't know what. And she ain't going back. She said, "Oh, mommy said I can ask her anything, and I can always come to her no matter what time it is." I don't think I did not think I needed to specify that from the hours of 12 a.m. to 7 a.m. were not available for stories and questions and artistic creativity. Okay, I did not specify that those hours are unavailable. But when I tell you, as grouchy as I wanted to be, just sitting up half asleep during those hours when my kids just had to be right there, right in my arms or right in my lap. Those were some of the most special times because those late night tired giggles, when you're tired you get silly. I mean, maybe that's other people, they might get grouchy or I don't know, but I get silly. I mean, everything is funny to me. I don't know. And then when you're half asleep and the kids are half asleep and you guys are laughing. I mean, a child's laugh. I don't care if you're not even a parent, if you're not a guardian, if you might not even want kids. It's something about like when a child laughs. It's so like what's that word? I want to say renewing or so refilling, so refreshing. See, I was gonna cycle through them words, and it just makes me realize that it's these little moments right here that they're gonna remember. They're gonna remember sitting up with me 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, my firstborn, I didn't really do like that with her at first because that wasn't done with me. That was when you go to bed, you go to bed. Don't get out that bed. Don't ask me no questions. You ate, you got water, you went to the bathroom, you brushed your teeth. There's nothing else you need. That bed is going to be your dwelling place until it's time to get up for school. Okay? If you bored, count some sheep. I don't know what to tell you, but don't come knock on this door. Don't come open this door like that. That was, the norm. And hey, that works for some people. That's just what that is. I had to pause for a second because I was about to say sometimes I really wish it was like that, but no, I don't. I don't because I don't know. Once I came to the other side, the other side of open parenting, I don't want my kids to feel like, well, I gotta wait, what if something's wrong? I wasn't even open to this kind of what I call open parenting because it just seemed cliche. Like it seemed like I'm trying to go against the grain and all of but that's because the circle of parents that were around me had the same beliefs as me, had the same, upbringing, the same whether that be, a trauma and drama and sadness and abuse or pristine happiness and wealth and the finest schools, whatever the combination is. There wasn't much variation between me and my friends who were also parents. But when my environment changed, it caused who was around me to change, which ultimately became a different group of people. And I saw that there is a whole variety of ways to rear your children. And I was like, wow, okay, I can get a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Like, I had to get out of culture. I had to get out of this is the one way. This is like, yes, there are certain things from how I grew up where I would be like, hey, this is what that is. There's no dancing around that. But other things, I'd be like, you know what? Does this situation really call for me to respond in such a big way? You know? And I was like, one day, what if, my kids get married, they want to have kids, and I'm like, I want to give them a second chance. And I felt like I almost didn't give that firstborn a second chance because she got the most of like the immature parental me. Like she got the most of that. But transitioning from who I was to now, it was kind of tough for both of us. Like she was looking at me like, "Well, who, what's wrong with you? Like why you not fussing about this? Why aren't you?" And I was like, I just once you know better, you do better. And that is my whole thing. That's my whole thing. Once you know better, you do better. And that's why when I was thinking of all these crazy things that go on in the house, and I'm like, I need to talk about this because how are people handling this? Like maybe I need to get some counsel or some advice on how do we shake the house back from this event? Like how what in what ways are there better ways to handle situations with your children? And I was like, man, there's some nitty gritty, just down to the bone stuff that we need to talk about. We need to talk about how kids can hurt your feelings. People are like, oh, that's a child. No, I don't. If you really love that child, the things that that child can say or do, it can hurt your feelings. Like, you can get so angry to where you want to react physically. Like there are just so many things that people are afraid to talk about because society has told them, well, no, because if you are a good parent, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. Or no, if you think X, Y, and Z, then you must be out the way and you must not be prepared, or your kids need to be taken care of. There's so many different things. And I was like, you know what? Since y'all afraid to talk about it, slide it over here. Let's talk about it. Okay. And so, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all go follow the YouTube. Add me as a friend on Facebook. I'm very open. I love talking. I'm gonna get this nitty gritty of parenting off the ground. God is amazing. He's carried us. He loves us. Y'all have a super blessed night. All right. See y'all tomorrow.